The protest over Section 106 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is likely to replace the old archaic laws when it comes to various hit-and-run rules, has worried truckers, and they're worried because the fine that they are going to pay now and the sentencing is going to be much harsher, post which they decided to go on a strike all across major cities of north of India, and there was a supply crunch which was felt on 1st and 2nd of Jan. Now they've called off the strike.
So the strike has been called off, but I think a final deliberation between the All India Motor Traders, Motor Transporters Association as well as the Government of India is still sort of underway. That conversation has happened, but what is the real bone of contention here, Shweta? I think the bone of contention really is that we've seen in the year 2022 road accidents reach new record highs. About 4.5 lakh odd road accidents occurred in 2022. The major causes of these road accidents, the first topping the list was hit from the back. The second one, in fact, was hit and run. And in the case of hit and run, especially when it comes to truck drivers who have been part of a hit and run case, what they do is there has been an accident, you've hit somebody, you flee. Now, that is something that the government took cognizance of and said that the hit and run cases is what the government is going to go after. And the changes in the penal code with this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita were to add a penalty of up to 10 lakh rupees. Jail time of about 10 years and penalty up to 7 lakh rupees on these truck drivers. Now, earlier the existing penal code had a penalty of about 2 lakh rupees. Now, this jail term of 10 years and a fine of 7 lakh rupees is something that the truck drivers feel is too steep, too harsh a punishment. And what are they really saying? They are saying that in the case of a hit and run, they prefer to run because if they don't run, they get attacked by the mobs. Whether they are to blame or not they get attacked. Absolutely. And their life and their property is at threat because of the mob action that takes place at the scene of an accident. So they went in arms against this new sort of ruling, which is yet to be notified, and said that they prefer to sort of have a discussion with the government and not go ahead to calling off the strike until there is more clarity. Now, that conversation happened and the strike has been called off. Now, you're right, what really also happened during then was, especially at petrol pumps, fuel stations, because these trucks carry fuel that gets replenished at petrol pumps across the country, and there were queues of people wanting to fill up their car tanks and motorcycle tanks with fuel, which was said to be in short supply because of the strike. Now, the strike has been called off, but and the government has assured the Truck Drivers Association that there is going to be dialogue and the rules will be implemented, notified, changes will be made to the penal code only after deliberation with the Truck Drivers Associations. So, as of now, yeah, the strike has been called off, but I think a very, very serious re-examination is required to understand how road accidents can be prevented and how those responsible for deaths arising out of road accidents are taken to law and action is taken against them. So, just calling off the strike and backing down on a harsh punishment is not how the government should consider this.
Not really a back down. I mean, come to think of it, what government is essentially saying is that we have not implemented, notified the law. Although the law has been passed in the parliament, we will be negotiating with you, we will be taking your issues into cognizance, and thereafter we'll be implementing those set of laws.
Absolutely,
so perhaps
but
we don't know if it's going to water down the existing provisions of the law.
It should not. And I believe it is a very, very serious issue at hand. India, in fact, in 2022 recorded as many as 19 deaths per hour. Over 60 accidents every hour reported, out of which 1/3 resulted in death. 19 deaths every hour on Indian roads is obviously a big problem, and the government has to tackle that, has to handle that. Will this new law be the only solution to it? Should there be scope for negotiation? Well, negotiation, sure. Negotiation could be in terms of maybe the penalty one has to pay. Is it going to be the truck driver responsible for that penalty, or is it going to be the trucking company responsible for the penalty? I think those nitty-gritties need to be ironed out, but I don't think the government should back down, and it should not be limited to hit-and-run cases by truck drivers
Only,
alone.
absolutely.
It should be sort of,
Hit and run.
applicable to everybody,
Everybody,
who
exactly.
is engaged in an accident.
Absolutely, everyone and anyone. Stricter laws perhaps in hit and run cases. The government has notified by the way of Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita section 106 of that, and the protest has now been called off after government has assured that there will be more debate, discussion with stakeholders, including the Truckers Driver Association, in order to understand what their concerns are with the law.